With that said, let's get on with the show. Cheers, everybody.
All eyes on us, friend or foe, can you trust? Your back's against the wall, kicking up dust. All we got is us. All eyes on us, friend or foe, who can you trust? Backs against the wall, kicking up dust. All we got is us.
All eyes on us.
Friend or foe, who can you trust? Backs against the wall, kicking up dust. All we got is us.
All eyes on us.
It's all eyes on us, yeah.
Okay. So, let's get on with it. Welcome back, humans. I'm back once again for your Wednesday middle of the week vent session. My name is Jaime, and hit us with a like and subscription, baby, because we'd appreciate it much. Very, very much. Well, man, I don't even know where to start. There's so many crazy things going on. And y'all know it because y'all been watching the news or avoiding it. Somebody's been telling you about it if you ain't been watching it, because it's been a crazy circus. And you know it. It's been quite bananas. But on a serious tip, no. Like, I'm serious. I mean, you've been watching the news. Like, Harris, she called the young people from 18 to 24-year-olds. She called y'all stupid. And a lot of people probably would agree with it. But it's just crazy. She just blatantly said y'all are dumb. And that's why they put you in dorms, college dorms. And you got an RA because y'all make bad decisions. And I just thought it was crazy. And then Biden, my man, came out there and said he likes, or he doesn't like, he didn't say it like that, but he kind of insinuated that he likes it. Like, he was kind of crazy, man. He was out of hand. He was out of hand, if you ask me. I don't know, man. It was fucking, it was crazy. Because, I guess he was doing a speech, and during the speech, he says, I can't wait to come back, or something like that, to that town or that city. And then he says, and I can't wait to see these two over here when they're 4 years older or something like that, to these two young girls. And everybody's like, whoa. That was crazy, man. He did that little slide, and he tried to go in there and start sliding right away. He tried to slip that by. I thought that was bananas, man, and everybody's just going to let that slip. Like, that was kind of creepy. And, like, they show a different angle. Like, the girls look super young. I don't know how old they are. But I don't know how old they'd be in 4 years. It's still sickening that you would even say that. And he had the microphone. He had a hot mic. What they call the hot mic, when they hear them people, the camera's off, or they think the camera's not on them, and when the camera ain't, but the mic's going, and they be saying all that shit on the hot mic. And he was just like, I can't wait to come back when you're older. That was kind of creepy. And then he was like breathing real heavy in the mask, probably trying to smell him or something. I don't know. And then the big POTUS, the man got sick. And he fought it off with his old ass. And I guess he supposedly fought it off. And some people thinking he got fucking targeted. I don't know, man. There's like a couple people, all the conspiracy people are going around. It's kind of fun to watch that stuff. They're saying he got targeted. And, like the whole, like his whole team got it all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so convenient during all this shit, because he got smashed in the debate, and he probably would have got smashed in the other one. And it's just crazy, man. So a lot of people are saying that they targeted him and gave it to him, the macaronis. They gave him the macaroni and cheese. And I was like, damn, they gave him the macaroni and cheese? And so, yeah, that's what people are saying right now. That's bananas. But I was watching Saturday Night Live, and, speaking of the conspiracy shit, and they had Jim Carrey on there and the Baldwin dude playing Trump, and Jim Carrey was playing fucking sliding, and he was doing a good job. It was funny as hell. I don't know if y'all seen it, but it was good shit. So he was saying, the guy who was playing Trump, the Baldwin dude was playing Trump. He said about the macaroni and cheese being a hoax, and that hopefully this doesn't bite me in the butt later on this week. And I was like, damn, that was like a little clue, like, he's going to get this shit y'all are going to see. It was almost like he spilled the beans on Saturday Night Live. Y'all can go check that out. Do it. He fucking says it before it even happens. So maybe he did get targeted. They were like, macaroni and cheese, got his ass with it, with the fuchi la la. It's like a pow, they got him with it. And he couldn't do nothing about it. but he beat it. Supposedly he beat it real quick. And he was saying all that, like, I don't know, maybe I'm immune. Who knows? It's He was funny, man. But you never know, man. He could be pulling pulling that Trump card that he always has. You know what I'm saying? All the puns intended. He could be pulling that, and you just never know. You never know, humans. You got to pay attention to these humans because how all us humans can be pretty sneaky. And sorry for the bright sign in the back. It's a work in progress. Saw a video online and tried to get my Bob Vila on and try to make my own shit. It's not even done yet. Didn't even put the trim up or nothing like that. But I just wanted to put it up and play with it anyways and turn the lights on because it was cool. But anyways, yeah, so he got it and beat it, supposedly beat it. I don't know. And it was just interesting stuff going on. There's a lot of shit going on, you know. Speaking of a lot of shit going on, my Lions are still really bad. I mean, they are really, really bad. And it's kind of tough. It hurts, you know, because I like my team a lot. I'm a home teamer. Like my Tigers didn't do good. Hockey's not doing that good. The draft was today. Hopefully they can get some good youngsters. I hear a lot about this one guy from Sweden, supposed to be really, really good. But he's young, so I don't know if he'll get to play right away. But Steve Yzerman's, running the team again, and he built a Stanley Cup championship team out in Tampa. He also won Stanley Cups here as a player, as Red Wing. I'm sure all of you know from here in Detroit. And if you're not from Detroit, and you're a hockey fan, you know who Stevie Yzerman is. And now he's running the Red Wings, and he made some pretty good draft picks from what I hear. Like I said, I just heard a lot about this guy from Sweden, and I'm interested to see him. Here he flies on the ice, got a good shot, all that, real tough physical player. So I'm excited to see what happens for that team. Could be good. And back to my Lions though, man, they lost again. They started off hot in the game, and then they just like fizzled out. And then so after the game, a lot of people, and like I said, it's my team. I wanted them to lose only because I didn't like this coach. He came in here his first season, and he was all cocky, like because he won Super Bowls with Brady and Belichick. And so he came in there flashing his rings. A lot of players were saying this, and anonymous players doing all these interviews around here, back around our way, giving little insider tips to radio stations or whatnot, and saying he came in there flashing his rings like, you got to listen to me because I know how to win championships. When everybody knows, everybody that leaves Belichick and Brady, they don't do good. There's a rare couple coaches that might have done it, but that's about it. And everybody else, yeah, but they had that one good season, and that was it. They didn't do nothing after that. And a lot of people that leave, they don't do nothing because it's their system. You know what I'm saying? So this guy was part of a system, and he claimed that he was part of that he designed the system or something. Said he was some defensive guru. And came in there, flexing his chest up, lost respect for the team right away. The season didn't start good when he first came. And he must still be pushing that stuff now. And you would see, like I said, you would see him in these interviews, and he'd be like, "Oh, I told you," and these guys would be like, "Whatever, man." So I kind of think, so after this game, like I said, they started hot, fizzled out. Saints came back, fucking Breeze fucking lit us up. I hear he got a weak arm, and it looked like his arm was weak. And I like Drew Brees, but it does look like he's got a weak ass arm. He was floating the ball, but our defensive line or our defensive backs still couldn't fucking guard his ass. They still couldn't even touch him. I thought that was so crazy, man. Like, I thought it was bananas that they couldn't even fucking touch his ass. And they were just, he was just throwing the football all around the field. And I was just like, man, they couldn't stop nothing. And I'm glad the game ran out because they probably would have kept scoring. It was disgusting. But so after the game, they go to the coach, they interview the coach, and everybody jumps on the coach's, jumps on him all the time and attacks him for us losing. And he's he's got a real good education, so he thinks he's like the smartest guy in the room, but maybe not the smartest guy in the football field. But so they asked him a question about all this losing shit, and he was like, "When I came here, there was lots of work to do. There was lots of work to do here." All right. So, okay, we weren't like no Super Bowl team. But before he came here, we did have a winning record. And like when we had Coach Caldwell, they were actually a really good team. I think they went 11-5 one season. Then they dropped back and did like 7-9 or some shit. And then they went back to like 9-7. with a chance to take the division and shit. You know, we had like a 9-7 record, and then we got rid of this coach. And like to me, I felt like we were starting to develop a system with that Caldwell coach. And I thought like a system was starting to happen because it seemed like even if we weren't like all the way in playoff contention, we were right there. You know what I'm saying? We were every season was like it was kind of interesting. It was getting interesting because the Lions were looking like, oh, we're a little bit closer. We're a little bit closer to maybe getting that first playoff win. You know what I'm saying? Since forever, and at least you know what I'm saying. But being a Detroit fan, it's really tough, and I'll break it down for you, like the kind of stuff that Detroit fans do here, and I happen to be one of them a lot of times. You know, when the seasons were not cut short like this year, but I happen to be one of those guys when it comes to our like Detroit fandemoniums, one of them Detroit fan humans. And so, anyways, I noticed that like because we don't have playoff winning teams right now, either basketball, football, especially football, and not like baseball right now either. So or hockey. So, anyways, when we're a type of fan like it'll be like 3 games in, and our radio stations, local radio stations, not 3 games. Maybe I'll give it like we're 10 games into our any season of any sport here. All right, and they'll be like I said, 10 games into the season, and all our sports commentators from our stations, well, the ones that like us anyways, there's some that are real deal and talk the real truth and give it to our teams the way they should. But shot to the ticket because those guys do give it honestly, and like I'm about to do right now. So we'll be watching the season. There'll be 10 games in, and then you got all these fans from here, and they'll be like, if the playoffs started right now, we would be the number 1 seed. I'm like, man, you're 10 games in. I was like, basketball is like 82 games. So is hockey. They're like, oh. And then it'd be like, 10 more games by. Oh, man, if we was in right now, we'd be in the playoffs. Like, what? Oh, man, like it just cracks me up. That's the kind of fans we have here because we don't get playoff wins all the time. So, okay, humans, Halloween's approaching, and there's going to be a lot of costumes coming up, like a lot of creative costumes. Some are going to be all trendy and cheesy. Some are going to sound the same. Like you're going to be a lot of same. I think I'm going to see a lot of Joe Exotics and the Baskins and all the other. There's probably going to be a lot of Trumps and Slidens and Harrises and a lot of funny shit with mask stuff. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. And so, anyways, I'm thinking of some costume possibilities, or every time Halloween comes around, if you're like with a couple, if you got a boyfriend or girlfriend, or if you're married or engaged, and you guys are committed, in a relationship of some sort, and you guys always got to do couple costumes. Does it always got to be couple costumes? Because I always get into this sometimes with my wife every year. I'm like, man, I want to do this, and she's like, but I want to be this. We should be this, and I'm like, man, she's like, we should be Lucille Ball and Ricky Ricardo. And I'm like, no. I'm not going to do that right now. I want to be something scary. I want to do this. Like, what about this? She's like, man, blah, blah, blah. So we always get into it. And we end up, compromising somehow. But it doesn't end up being no Ricky Ricardo and Lucille Ball shit. I apologize. But it ain't going to be that today. No, so I was just wondering, does everybody have to do it? Or should you have the option? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think you should have the option. I think you shouldn't be obligated all the time to be a couple's type of thing. Like it doesn't have to be the same thing, like a theme type of thing. Like you guys are a couple. It don't mean like you can't be like Jason, and then she can be like a princess, or like a queen of Egypt or some shit, and then you come out scary scarecrow. You know what I'm saying? Or like Dracula, and then like I don't know, a witch. Those two might even go together. You know what I'm saying? But they both ain't vampires. But I'm just saying, I think you should have the option to be what you want. And you shouldn't have to get in a fight over it, or shouldn't have to be like a couple thing. I would never get like a fight over it, but it'd be like, an argument maybe here and there, or like, I don't want to do it. And then you end up settling with something in the middle, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, I think you should have, this is 2020. Shit should be allowed this time. You should have these options this time because shit is all messed up anyway. And until we have like a good month, it's only going to be as long as that month is, and we'll only count that year for that month. So that's all I got to say. But I mean, you should have your choice. You should be something creative. Shouldn't be like I'm gonna be Carol Baskins and you got to be Joe Exotic. You know what I mean? Or I got to be Kamala and you got to be Joe, Sleepy Joe. Like if is everybody, I wonder how many people are gonna be Biden with pajamas on because they call him Sleepy Joe. Probably nobody till I just said it. Y'all gonna steal that idea? I'm just kidding. You can have it. It's all good. It's Halloween. It's all for the cause. Let's do it, humans. Let's do it. Halloween's coming. But for me this year, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I got some ideas up in the air. Me and my wife were talking about one of those couple things, but we might go scary. We might go funny. I don't know. I kind of want to be something funny this year. I got a couple ideas, but I also don't want to be something that nobody's gonna know what it is, and I gotta tell them what it is every time. Because I don't know about you, but that shit aggravates me. It's kind of like my fault because I chose it and I thought like, oh, this is the best, like it's like a character from like a movie that he wasn't even a star in. Like, remember that guy you walked by on the couch every time you saw that movie? Like, I'm him, duh. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit right there. I do it all the time. Like I just pick this random shit and I'm this, and they all look at me like, oh, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn it. So then I started getting like, started doing other stuff, different things that you would recognize. But for a few years, I was doing that. Like I said, it would be the random character in a movie that I thought you would recognize. But obviously you didn't. To me, I would notice that guy every time. And that's who I was for Halloween. Damn it. But I'm just wondering if y'all go through that too. It's like you dress up and then it's like maybe you thought the costume was the bomb. And then you show up to the party and they're like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that? And then you're like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, did I fail? And then there might be one random weirdo, whether you're a guy or a girl, there's one random weirdo that does know. And then you're like, yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank you. But I'm also not going to hang out with you because you're weird. But thank you for recognizing who I am. You're like the one person out of the 50. So it's like, that's all I'm saying. It's funny about that. So I wonder, I got some costume ideas around. So I'm thinking about maybe going comedic, maybe going scary, or like a mixture of the two. Like, it will be a good mixture of the two. Could be like Zombieland type shit, or maybe some Beetlejuice type stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna throw some ideas around. I'm sure I'm gonna be dressed up for a Halloween episode since Halloween's on a Saturday and we shoot Wednesdays and Saturdays. Like and subscribe. But don't forget, humans. Tell the other humans to like and subscribe also. We'd appreciate it. And support all humans. Support all humans. Except for the bad ones. But anyways. Yeah, that's about it, man. I don't know about you guys. I don't think I'm going to get a lot of trick-or-treaters this year. And I think I'm going to be eating most of the candy that I'm buying. I've been buying candy already and eating the shit out of it. I don't know about you guys, but I do it all the time. We get the candy early, and we do it on purpose. We like subconsciously or I don't know what the word fucking is that you're supposed to say. Consciously, slub. I don't know. It might be subconsciously. I don't know. Even though I got a device that I could, if only there was a device I could look up the right way to say it. Oh, that's right, there is. But anyways, I think I like automatically buy it on purpose. You do. You're like they put it everywhere. They put it in the aisles. And I guess they're going to stop putting certain items in the aisles that tempt people because they won some court case. Damn law. And they're trying to like limit the impulse buying. Which brings me to this new topic. I think I kind of like this curbside pickup stuff. For me, because I happen to be a really bad impulse shopper. I'm like really bad at it, dude. I'll buy so much shit I don't fucking need on the way out of the store when I just needed one fucking thing. I don't know if everybody has this disease as me, but this is my disease. Like I can't, or addiction. I don't know. I would say, I don't know what it is. It's my problem. So I will go to a store, get what I need, get what my wife needs, get whatever everybody needs. We're on the way out. I'm like, oh man, it's a good movie. I should grab that Blu-ray. I should grab that DVD or Blu-ray. Add it to the collection. And like, you're only going to watch it once, but I'll collect it. So then I end up buying stuff I don't need. Like, how many chargers do I need? How many portable battery sources do I need? Like, Man, and it's always in there. How many fucking Reese's cups do I need? A lot of them. That's the answer because I get them every time. They put them right in the doorway, you know, or some cool hat or something. Something always gets me by the door. I don't know about you guys. On the way out, they put this stuff there. It's a trap. It's a fucking trap. It's a customer trap. And so I guess they're going to stop doing certain items. I don't know what it is, but it's like crazy, man. They just get you with all these things on the way out. And I think it's wrong, people. You're tempting me. But that's why I like this curbside pickup because it eliminates that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go to the store and just go get me like a power cord or like a portable power source of like or preamp. Go get me a fucking preamp. Come back, little like a portable preamps, you know, for microphones or something, and you come back, and on the way out, you bought like 2 pillows. And even though they fucking sold pillows there, but you bought 2 pillows there. They were fucking that fucking fancy pillow that's supposed to give you like the best sleep. So you bought 2 pillows, fucking walked out with a fucking lotion of some sort, and fucking, I don't know, a bunch of candy and a bottle of water that you probably won't even finish on the way home. But now when I go to the curbside, I'm online. I see what I want. I get that only. And I appreciate that because that eliminates a lot of shit that I don't need to get. Buddy, we're here to support all humans. So we talk about humans. We're here to support the humans. Aliens from other planets, I apologize, but we're here for human support. Until you expose yourselves and offer humans some support from the aliens, right now we got to support all humans. So all the humans out there, let's support each other. It's for our human survival. All right, humans, I'm back, and I got a new segment today. Somebody reached out on my Instagram at TheRealHeim1, and feel free to do so if you want to promote some music or whatever, and reach out to the hotline as well. And we got their phone number, and we're going to call them, and we're going to see how it's going on their neck of the woods, and maybe see how their 2020's been during all this crazy-ass shit going on with the macaroni and cheese going around everywhere, spreading around like crazy. Or people just hyping it up, who knows. But we'll see how it goes. And they said her name, they go by the name of Starr with a double R. There's 2 R's in this. So we'll be like Starr with a double R. Hope it doesn't offend them, but that's what we're going to go with. And here we go. Let's see if they answer the phone while we try to reach out to them. Hello, are you there?
Hello, hi.
Hi, is this Starr with a double R?
That's right. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're here over in Detroit. It's starting to get cold out here. Starting to get like our usual winters. How is it in your neck of the woods, and where are you calling from?
I'm actually in Texas, and we've been very fortunate to have some pretty good weather for the past couple of weeks, but I'm sure that's going to change, and we'll be back at like 110 by tomorrow, so
Nice.
let's not get too excited around here.
We get like that all summer. It maybe not be 110, but we just get that sticky humidity all day. There's no escape. It just sucks. You don't even got to move, and you're just like sticking to your furniture, your car, your clothes. You just be all sticking everywhere.
But
So
at least you guys have all of the different seasons. We do not.
see, a lot of people think, oh, go to Michigan or go to like, I don't know how it is in other the Midwest states, but they're like, go to Michigan, you get the 4 seasons. We don't. It's a lie. There's 2. There's cold ass winter and hot ass summer. There's no in between. There's no in between.
Yeah.
There'll be like wintertime. It'll be like spring. It'll be snowing all the way till March and April. And then all of a sudden like May starts and it starts getting 90 already.
Yeah.
You wake up to like
So it's a
82
lie.
degrees.
I'll make sure to correct people whenever they think that Michigan gets all 4 seasons. I'll
Yeah.
make sure to say, I know for a fact that's not true.
Yeah, there's only 2 of them suckers. There's only 2 of them things. There's only 2 of them. So being over here, it got a little crazy over here with the macaroni and cheese going around. You know, the fuchilala,
yes.
the craziness going around. How is it over your way? How's it over your way? How you dealing with things?
Well, let me tell you, I think something that's kind of funny is that I was looking at some funny T-shirts, and it said 2020 was written by Stephen King and directed by Quentin Tarantino, and I thought that was hilarious.
I could see that.
Yeah, because it's kind of like at this point, let's just call it a year, guys. I mean, like,
For
what's
real.
going on?
If we get one good month, that's all 2020 is allowed to be, just 1 month.
Yeah, and another shirt that just kind of said liquor, and it had a martini glass, and it said the glue holding this 20 shit show together. I mean,
We got to have leap
be
months. We got to add leap months instead of leap years.
right.
2020 is the leap month.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, this year's been a little crazy for And I think at the beginning, everyone was sort of, hey, this is kind of cool. I get to work from home. And then after a while, everyone's just, their persona just kind of changed. It was just like, when is this going to be over? We're still going through this? And yeah, we are. We're now in October, and we are still going through this. So it's been a little crazy, but, I can't say this is the new norm. I refuse to admit that, but, sure enough, you try and walk into a store, and I get kicked out right away as soon as I forget my mask.
Yeah, for real. I'll walk halfway to the door, and I'm like, damn it, I got to go right back to that car and get it.
Exactly.
I got like a bakery by me, and one time I walked all the way to that thing because it was like walking distance. I walked all the way to the door, saw the damn sign on the door. I'm like, fuck, I had to walk all the way back to the damn house, go get my mask, and then start my journey back. Trying to beat a rainstorm. I was kidding.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, and it's no joke. I mean, it's pretty serious. I mean, but in the sense of people are not taking it lightly, and you definitely don't get anywhere without wearing that mask, and it's for the safety of others. But
yeah, for sure.
We got to do what we got to do.
Man, over here they had this thing going on with a lot of people calling in radio stations. They were calling it the quarantine 20. I guess while people were in quarantine, people were like gaining weight, like gaining like 20 pounds. So then now that people started easing back to work, they were starting to do this, like this fitness challenge and things like that, where they're trying to get all that stuff, get the quarantine 20 off because they put on the quarantine 20. But that's what we had going on here in Detroit was the quarantine 20.
I believe it. I do believe it, especially because the gyms were closed, which really is just kind of a lame excuse because if you think about it, we can all work out at home.
For real.
But it was one of those things where I think we all sort of just kind of freaked out and overreacted, and we were bulk buying.
Yeah, but you could.
Like even,
you could work out at home, but you could also fold laundry on the weight bench.
Right.
There's choices.
I mean, but we decided just to kind of go with, well, we're in quarantine. All we do is like binge watch Netflix and just kind of chill at home and eat everything.
I think I watched, man, I never got into like TV like I did when we was on lockdown. We watched like, I never watched like series of stuff. I started watching series of things I didn't even want to watch, but I ended up watching them.
Yeah.
In weird ass movies. It was wild. I got into like weird movies. I'm like, I might as well watch it in subtitles.
Exactly. I'm usually the type that'll start a series and then never finish it. I'm not big on TV, but that was definitely the time where I was just like, now I'm going to start this series, and I would end it, And I think the one that really caught my eye or caught a lot of people's attention was, is it The Tiger King? Did you watch that one?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody went on that. Everybody went on that.
Yeah, and I just shared that with somebody, and they were wearing, because it was funny. They were wearing a shirt that said, "She did it. She fed him to the lions and the tigers or whatever." The situation. I'm like, I know, right?
That's hilarious. They had she was on Dancing with the Stars and all that, and I guess her family or the family of her murdered husband that got fed to the tigers supposedly, allegedly. They put out an ad on TV with the FBI about her missing husband during the Dancing with the Stars.
Really?
Yeah, that was pretty ballsy. That was pretty crazy. And they show her face at the same time on Channel 7. I'm like, oh, putting a drama on there. But she got eliminated quick because she couldn't even dance.
Yeah, it's a big, it turned into like a big deal, right? Like people were really into that.
Yeah, because when episode 3 came out, that was a little revealing. When she was talking about the meat grinder and what cologne and perfume does with the tigers and putting tuna oil on shit. And I'm like, what? What is all these tactics you're exposing? She was exposing tactics.
It's a crazy situation. You really can't put anything past people nowadays. I just feel like, I just, just when you think you've heard the worst, you're just like, what? That happened? But yep, this is one of those things where you're just like, wow.
Nowadays it's like one new thing every week.
Now, had it not been for quarantine Netflix binging, we wouldn't have known that,
I got into a show during my quarantine, and I ended up watching the whole series. It wasn't many episodes. It was called Cooking with Cannabis. And it was so entertaining. There were all these bomb chefs that cooked with like marijuana, but they had celebrity judges, and they brought like Ricky Lake, Joe Coy. They had like, all these people, and they were like for real getting stoned on the food, and they were like getting blown out. And these people would like bring you up and down with the food recipes they were making. It was an interesting show, and I ended up watching that whole series. Yep.
Baking or like actually cooking? Or
cooking meals, desserts. It was like all the course meals, but with cannabis itself. In all forms. They were doing it in all forms. It was pretty neat. It was entertaining though watching the judges. They were getting so blown out.
I don't know if I would do very well. I would like judge on that, but I think I would be like, this is delicious.
Oh man, it was
I would say
great.
that about everything.
Seeing some of the celebrities just start wandering during the show. They just start wandering. Got to get up and stretch and stuff because they were getting a little too messed up on the food. It was great.
Oh no! They're like, we're gonna have to edit that part.
Yeah, but they didn't. They let it go. It was Netflix. They let that shit
Wow.
ride. For
I'll
real, it
have
was
to check
great.
that out.
Yep,
Yeah.
it was pretty funny. That was one of the shows that I liked. I liked to watch. And then
Oh,
yeah, I think that was one of the. I liked all the cooking shows. I liked that shit.
yeah. I'll have to check that out. I do like the baking shows, especially like during Halloween, where they have these crazy, insane you're gonna have to make this ginormous pumpkin and this cake out of these random little. They give you random little items that you can cook with.
Yep.
And I am so surprised at how talented some of these people are when it comes to baking, because I would never be able to do that. Like I can barely. My cookies are like whatever. I can just, they're pre-shaped and I just throw them in the oven. That's my
Right.
kind of baking right there.
For sure.
But these people are just so talented, and I always look at their stuff and I'm like, how did they do that? And they give them these crazy time frames, like within 12
Yeah.
minutes you must do this, and everything, all this amazing stuff has to be done within 2 hours, and they do it. They nail it every time.
Hell yeah. So, do you have are you a mom? Do you have any children?
I am. So I have let's just say we're in the teen, beginning of teen stage, where I have to keep up with all these acronyms, which is annoying as hell because I'm constantly Googling or asking some of my girlfriends. I'm like, hey, what the hell is this? And we're just kind of like, okay, so what's the T? And so I'm like, and then I try and hate on it too. Like, I'll be like, what's the T? Like, yeah, my girlfriend and I, when we first heard it, not a lot of most of my friends don't have kids, but I do have one friend that does have a child very, very close to age as mine.
Uh-huh.
And they were kind of talking amongst themselves, and they were saying like, yeah, like this new thing is with the T. And I recall her and I thinking like, okay, before we chime in and get like, kind of booted off here, we want to like listen to the whole thing. And we're like, what's the T? So we finally just chimed in and we're like, well, back in the day we used to say like, what's a scoop? Like, what's the cheese?
Yeah.
Like, what's the deal? And they're looking at us like we're weird. They're like, no,
It's a foreign
the
language.
T. Yeah,
They're like, you're
no,
old.
it's like, what's the T? I'm like, shut up. You guys don't even know what beepers were. Like, I don't even know. Like, like,
Yeah.
these kids are just.
My TV, my TV had a big ass giant box in the back of it.
I'm telling you, like, they cannot relate. And
My phone
so,
had a cord on it, and I couldn't walk away too far.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
Or
Forget
what about the
it.
pulse phone? Remember that shit with the dial tone? It was like, it was like you got to hold all the way to the 9, go all the way to the 6. Like, got to get that number dialed.
And then if you have one of those like siblings that's gonna get the phone on the other end, like get off the phone, you have to deal with all that kind of stuff. These kids don't have that.
I was telling my son about the collect call. Like, we used to hustle that collect call, like when we was poor. So you'd call your house collect, and when they asked for your name, you'd give the message to them to pick you up. Like if you was at the public pool or you was at the mall and you wanted your mom and dad to pick you up. So they'd be like, you have a collect call from, I'm ready, you can pick me up. And that was your name. And it'd be like, they wouldn't accept the call, but they'd come pick your ass up. And so I used to tell my son, you don't even know nothing about that with your unlimited data on your phone. You don't know shit about that.
Data, yeah. They're like, why is it lagging? Our Wi-Fi sucks. I'm like, get the hell out of here.
I was like,
it just drives me crazy.
Heck yeah. I used to always say that. Here's a collect call from, you can come pick me up, ma. And I would take him phone up. And she'd be like, this call was declined.
It's a payphone.
And I'd tell my friends, she's coming. And we'd all go eat outside.
And remember the pagers, the beepers?
Oh, yeah, the beepers.
If somebody dialed you 911.
Oh, you better call back.
You better have a quarter, first of all, to go find a payphone.
Yeah. Payphones was everywhere. You had payphones everywhere. And I would do the same thing if my friends beat me. I'd do that same thing with the collect call. I'd call them. They'd be like, you got a collect call from. And I'd be like, what do you want? And they'd decline it. And then they'd page me back. And I'd call them back. And they would do the same thing. We'd get the message through.
Yeah, it's a whole nother world now. I mean, it really is. You're right. Get out of here with your unlimited data. Oh, my gosh. It drives me crazy. I just, but then now, if you're not a part of it, like I said, I sort of have to keep up with all these acronyms. Like I recently found out what Karen was.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I have a friend named Karen. Yeah, Karen's actually like a bad thing now. Are you familiar with that term?
Yeah, I wonder how many babies are not going to be named Karen for a long time.
I wonder how many moms are pissed that was cool. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
These kids, they're horrible. They made this
They
up.
made a Halloween Karen mask. They got a Halloween Karen
Yeah.
mask.
It's like, or like, my, my son told me the other day, I don't remember where we were. We were at a drive-through, and somewhere they screwed up our order. And so the first thing my son, just kind of shares me. He's like, "Mom, please don't act like a Karen right now, please." I'm like, "Mom, I'm totally gonna be. I'm about to be a Karen real bad. Like, you may want to record this."
You
Because,
feel it
I'm like,
boiling. It's coming. It's like you got to have this like that's what you should set your Apple Watch. If you got a smartwatch, set it to Karen mode. When you feel that shit heating up, it'll be like burp burp burp. That's what you need to count to 10.
Yep.
Is your son is your son close to driving? Age?
Yeah, so not super close to like we still have about a year, but it
Okay.
doesn't mean that we don't have that conversation like on a daily basis.
I got a
And
question for you about
it's
that.
funny because
All right.
I tell him, I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I had a hoopty, and that builds character.
Heck yeah, you got to
Those
drive a
kids are
boat.
you know what I'm saying? Like, these kids nowadays, they want to drive, these Hummers and these things. I'm just like, you guys have no sense of money, like what things cost,
Heck yeah.
insurance, all kinds of stuff. Like, I really had a hoopty. My first few vehicles were hoopties that were like, they made the most horrible sound, and I
Same here.
With $5, it was.
I'd get to the
like,
corner, had to get gas already.
Yeah, it's either I'm gonna eat or I'm gonna put $5 of gas in my little hoopty, and that's what it was. And I really do think it builds character, but my son disagrees daily, But at the same time, it's one of those things where I'm like, well, guess what? You are not gonna get that fancy pants car you think in your mind that you're gonna get.
That's funny. So before your son gets his driver's license, is there anything besides that that you would want him to know, like before he ends up like driving his own car?
I feel like it's one of those things where I don't want to be like the helicopter mom that's always just like, okay, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. I try and give him very realistic expectations about what to expect, with peer pressure and this and that. But at the same time, I will let him screw up just a little bit in certain things. But driving is a whole other thing. Like, I will straight up show him things like, look, drinking and driving, not cool. That's something you can't recover from.
Yeah.
You can kill somebody, you can hurt somebody, or the other way around. I try and flip it to where I'm like, hey, there's something that you should know. You may be doing everything right, but how do you know that the other person isn't under the influence of any kind?
Yep.
Where they may take the stop sign and then you're hurt, or something like that. So I try and give him scenarios where he kind of it makes sense in his mind, But at the end of the day, like, I feel like even when they shared that information with me, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, thanks, bye, in and out the ear, and I'm just like, there I go with my hoopty,
Yeah. I tried to teach my son before he was driving, but he didn't want to learn it. But I was trying to teach him how to do an oil change. I was trying to teach him how to change a tire. And I was trying to teach him, like, at least to know how to do those things so he wouldn't have to, like, spend money on things that he didn't need to spend money on. Like, I was like, at least if you could change a tire. And, like, he was like, I don't even want to. He's playing on his phone the whole time I tried to show him. So I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So I tried to at least show him that kind of stuff. I just wanted to teach him, like, some basic things, like, that you could do by yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe to use how to use jumper cables, but he wasn't hearing it. He didn't pay no attention. I was just doing it by myself. I was like, I turned around. He wasn't even there. When after I was showing, I was like, I'm under the car with the jack. I'm like, this is where you turn the lug nut. I turned around and I was like, where'd he go? Like, well, he was there.
Why? Because he was already looking at your policy to see if you had roadside assistance. So
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to need to know how to change that tire, Dad.
Yeah, he's like, we got Allstate, Dad. We got Allstate, Dad. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. State Farm. Jake's calling. You know what I'm saying? Jake from State Farm's calling, Dad. He said, don't even do it.
Right.
He said, don't do it, Dad. We got it. I'm like,
We
wow.
got this.
So I'll be under the car too. Like, this is where the filter's at for the oil change. This is where the oil filter's at. I'm like, where'd you go? Pass me the wrench. And he's like, what? I'm like, so all I see is the dog licking my hand because my son's gone. He didn't give me no wrench. So he ain't learning how to fix nothing.
I gotta be honest though, like, one thing I did share with my son was that, and I to this day, and I'm not gonna share my age, but I will tell you this, to this day, and people are like, how have you gotten through life? I'm like, shut up. I do not know how to parallel park. Like, I just don't know how to do it. Like, I refuse. Like, I will park like 3 blocks away to avoid that one parking spot then I know I'm going to look like an idiot reversing, going back and forth,
Right.
and then try and make it, and then I hit the curb, and I'm also going to hit the car.
Nice.
I've never mastered that. Don't know how I passed, when I was like 16, getting my driver's license, but clearly my instructor was not teaching me that. And here I am, years later, and I still don't know how to parallel park. So that is something he will not be learning from me.
Your instructor, your instructor was like, parallel parking is like math. You won't need it when you grown up. And he was lying. He was like, it was like algebra. You won't need it. But he was lying.
Right.
He was lying. You kind of need it.
He was wrong on that one. Like, that one I kind of need.
Yeah.
It's kind of important. It's kind of a big deal.
Because my parallel park is more like diagonal park, but I'm in there.
You're in there.
Yeah. I'm not in the street. I'm in there.
I'm not in there. I'm definitely not in there. Like, half of my car is sticking out. So, no. I'll be real honest. I have not, like, I piss people off and shit. Like,
that's why you got to buy, like,
behind me, they're just kind of like, move already. Like, let me take that spot.
You should buy one of them little tiny little cars. Them little like cars where it's just like 2 doors and the engine. And then that way you could parallel park all day. You would have like days for room.
Oh, yeah. Forget about it. I'd be parking everywhere left and right. Be like, I got this.
You could park on the sidewalk. Nobody would even care.
Yep. Right now, I don't have that problem. I have quite the opposite. People honking at me all pissed off. And I'm like, why are you mad? I'm just trying to do the right thing, people.
We're trying to avoid it.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, avoid what? Whatever it is, we're trying to not get there. So.
No, and then I get pissed off because I realize I'm not going to nail it. So I'm just like, screw this, I'm taking off. And I take off, and then I see how easy it was for the car behind me to get in there. And I'm just like, I don't like them.
Well,
they suck,
Yeah.
I'm just mad that I didn't know how to do it.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you calling over here and giving us your time. Starr with a double R. And I'm going to have to disconnect with you here. And like I said, I appreciate you giving us some of your time and appreciate you stopping by on the Ment to Vent Wednesday vent session. And I appreciate you.
Yes, of course. Anytime. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. And we'll see you again. And hopefully you keep watching Wednesdays and Saturdays. Don't forget.
Absolutely.
All right. See ya. Well, if you like this episode, hit me with a like and subscription. I'd really appreciate it. And this has been another episode of Ment to Vent. Till next time, humans. See ya.